The 1960s gave us legends, the Beatles, the Stones, Motown, Woodstock, but beyond the giants, there were songs. Songs that climbed the charts. Songs that filled car radios. Songs you might not hear much anymore. Yet, when they come on, they still sound incredible. Not outdated, not dusty, not trapped in time. Just amazing.
Said it's alright.
Here are 10 forgotten 60s songs that still sound as powerful today as they did back then. Number 10, Mirage, Tommy James and the Shondells, 1967.
I see you standing in the alleys and the hallways.
Before Crimson and Clover, before psychedelic experimentation took over their sound, Tommy James and the Shondells delivered Mirage. And somehow it became one of those hits history quietly pushed aside. Released in 1967, Mirage shot into the top 10. It had everything a 60s pop rock single needed: bright rhythm guitar, driving beat, and that unmistakable urgent vocal delivery from Tommy James.
I run to touch you, but you vanish through the doorway.
But what makes it stand out today? It still feels immediate. The melody doesn't wander. It hooks you fast, the chorus hits hard, and the rhythm section keeps everything moving with tight precision. There's no overproduction, no heavy psychedelia, no studio gimmicks, just clean, energetic pop rock done right.
I want so much to have it like it used to be.
It doesn't feel like a novelty of its era. It feels like a band locked in and confident. Yet today, it rarely makes classic rock rotations. It doesn't headline 60s retrospectives. It quietly sits in the shadow of their bigger psychedelic hits. But play it now, and it doesn't sound forgotten. It sounds alive. Number 9, Soul Deep, The Box Tops, 1969.
I don't know much. I know I love you so.
By 1969, the Box Tops were already known for one unmistakable thing: that voice. Alex Chilton sounded older than his years, gritty, soulful, slightly weary. Even though he was still a teenager when the band broke through, most people remember them for The Letter. But Soul Deep is the one that deserves another listen.
And my love is a real soul.
Released in 1969, it carried that same blue-eyed soul intensity, but with something warmer, something smoother. The groove is tight but relaxed, the horns are subtle but effective, and the rhythm section moves like it knows exactly where it's going. There's no psychedelic haze here, no heavy distortion, just classic Memphis-inspired soul filtered through a pop sensibility. And that's what makes it still sound amazing. The production is clean, not cluttered. The melody is instantly memorable, and Chilton's vocal performance, effortless. He doesn't oversing, he doesn't dramatize, he just delivers. The lyrics are straightforward, love that runs soul deep. But the emotional conviction makes it believable. It doesn't feel like bubblegum pop. It feels grounded. What's surprising is how rarely this track gets mentioned when people talk about late 60s radio. It charted. It got airplay. It was part of that transitional moment when soul, pop, and rock were blending into something new. Yet today, it's often overshadowed. But play Soul Deep now, and it doesn't feel dated. It feels timeless. It sounds like the bridge between 60s pop and 70s singer-songwriter soul. Number 8, On a Carousel, The Hollies, 1967. When people talk about British invasion bands, a few names dominate the conversation. The Beatles, the Rolling Stones, The Who, but quietly, consistently, the Hollies were crafting some of the tightest pop songs of the entire decade. On a Carousel, released in 1967, might be one of their most underrated gems. From the very first seconds, it feels alive. That bouncing rhythm, the crisp guitar work, and those unmistakable three-part harmonies, bright, precise, and perfectly layered. It's upbeat without being lightweight. The melody moves like the ride it describes, circular, slightly dizzying, but joyful. And that's the magic of it. Lyrically, It captures young love in motion. The carousel becomes a metaphor for emotional ups and downs, spinning, rising, falling, but always coming back around. It's simple, but it's effective. What makes it still sound amazing today is the craftsmanship. The production is clean and punchy. The guitars have bite without distortion overload. The harmonies feel almost mathematical in their precision. There's no filler, no wasted space. Every part serves the hook. And yet, when people revisit 1967, a year packed with psychedelic landmarks, On a Carousel often gets overlooked. It doesn't have sitars. It doesn't have tape loops. It isn't experimental. It's just expertly written pop rock. Play it today, and it doesn't sound like a relic. It sounds tight, energetic, radio ready. A reminder that not every great 60s song needed to change the world. Some just needed to spin perfectly in place. Number 7, Laugh, Laugh. The Beau Brummels, 1965.
Say it, but I told you so. Don't mind my preaching to you.
In 1965, the British invasion was in full swing. American radio was flooded with bands trying to sound like they came from Liverpool or London. But the Beau Brummels, they were from San Francisco. And with Laugh, Laugh, they created something that felt British, yet distinctly American at the same time. Released in early 1965, the song cracked the top 20 and quietly helped lay the groundwork for what would later become folk rock.
I said don't trust him, baby, now you know you don't.
The opening is immediately recognizable. That jangling guitar riff, slightly mysterious, slightly melancholy. It doesn't explode. It draws you in. Sal Valentino's vocal delivery is cool but vulnerable. There's a subtle ache in the way he sings about heartbreak masked by laughter. The concept is simple. Pretend you're fine. Pretend you're laughing. But underneath, you're not. That emotional restraint gives the song depth.
Was yours instead. Found you don't know everything.
Musically, it's stripped down compared to many 60s hits. No grand production tricks, no sweeping orchestration, just tight rhythm, chiming guitars, and a melody that lingers longer than you expect. What makes Laugh, Laugh still sound amazing today is its atmosphere. It has space. It breathes. It feels slightly ahead of its time.
He was a tease. If you won't.
You can hear hints of what bands like the Byrds would soon refine, that blend of folk introspection and pop structure. Yet the Beau Brummels rarely get mentioned alongside the bigger names of the era. Maybe because they weren't flashy. Maybe because they weren't from England. But listen now and it doesn't feel like an imitation. It feels authentic, moody, catchy, understated, a quiet breakthrough hiding in plain sight. Number 6, Midnight Confessions. The Grassroots, 1968. By 1968, music was getting heavier. Psychedelia was expanding. Rock was growing louder. Lyrics were getting deeper, darker, more confessional. And right in the middle of that shift came Midnight Confessions. The Grassroots had already tasted success, but this was different. From the opening seconds, that fuzz-drenched guitar riff cuts through everything. It's sharp, urgent, slightly dangerous, not the sunny pop you might expect from a late 60s radio hit. The groove is tight and driving, almost hypnotic. The bass locks in, the drums push forward, and the tension never really releases. Lyrically, it's raw for its time. This isn't innocent puppy love. It's obsession. It's desire you're not supposed to act on. The narrator admits he can't stop thinking about someone, even though she belongs to someone else. That emotional honesty, that late-night vulnerability, gives the song weight. And then there's the hook. Midnight Confessions. That's when I want you. It's bold, direct, unapologetic. What makes it still sound amazing today is that edge. The production has punch. The fuzz tone feels proto-70s. The energy borders on garage rock without losing pop structure. It doesn't feel dated, it feels intense, and maybe that's why it stands out among other late 60s hits. It wasn't psychedelic spectacle, it wasn't flower power optimism. It was tension, desire, confession, and nearly 60 years later, that riff still hits just as hard. Number 5, Along Comes Mary. The Association, 1966.
The only one who's lonely, someone calls on me.
In 1966, pop radio was polished. Clean harmonies, predictable structures, safe love songs, and then Along Comes Mary arrived. At first glance, it sounds like sunshine pop. Layered vocals, upbeat tempo, a melody that feels almost playful. But listen closer. The rhythm is restless. The phrasing is quick, almost breathless. The lyrics move with a kind of coded urgency. Released in 1966, the song became the Association's breakthrough hit, climbing into the top 10. But it didn't sound like everything else on the dial. There's something slightly off-center about it. The harmonies are tight, beautifully arranged, but they're stacked over a groove that feels subtly edgy. And then there's the lyrical ambiguity. Some listeners believed Mary wasn't a person at all, but a veiled reference to marijuana, which, in 1966, was a bold idea for a top 40 single.
Oh, baby, rather get no tales from all the fails and tribulations.
It wasn't psychedelic yet, but it was pushing at the door. Musically, it still sounds crisp today. The vocal interplay is sophisticated without feeling showy. The arrangement has movement. It builds, relaxes, then lifts again. There's no heavy studio trickery, just precision. What makes it endure is that balance. Bright on the surface, slightly subversive underneath. Number 4, Carousel 44, The Zombies, 1967. In 1967, most love songs were simple. Boy meets girl, boy loses girl, boy wants girl back. But Carousel 44, it opened with something completely different. I'll be so glad when you're home. Home from where? Prison? Yes. This bright, sunshine-filled pop song is about waiting for someone to be released from jail. And somehow, it sounds joyful. Released as part of Odyssey and Oracle, Carousel 44 didn't explode immediately in the US, but over time it became one of the Zombies' most quietly brilliant recordings. What makes it still sound amazing today is the arrangement, those soaring harmonies, that chiming piano, the gentle but confident rhythm section. Everything feels clean, balanced, almost orchestral in its structure. Rod Argent's piano gives the track elegance, while Colin Blunstone's soft, breathy vocal delivery adds emotional warmth. The contrast is fascinating. The subject matter is unconventional, writing letters to someone incarcerated, but the tone is optimistic. It doesn't dwell in sadness. It looks forward. Musically, it feels ahead of its time. There's sophistication in the chord changes, subtle complexity in the vocal layering. It's pop, yes, but elevated pop. Not flashy, not loud, just beautifully constructed. And maybe that's why it often gets overlooked in broader 60s conversations. It wasn't controversial. It wasn't psychedelic chaos. It wasn't rebellion. It was craftsmanship. Play it today, and it doesn't sound dated. It sounds refined, thoughtful, timeless, a reminder that some of the best 60s songs didn't shout for attention. They simply waited to be rediscovered. Number 3, Friday on My Mind, The Easybeats, 1966. By 1966, the British invasion had reshaped rock and roll. But this next band didn't come from London. They came from Australia. And with Friday on My Mind, the Easybeats delivered one of the most explosive and strangely under-discussed rock singles of the entire decade.
Coming Tuesday, I feel better.
From the opening chord, it doesn't ease you in, it kicks the door open. Sharp guitar attack, punchy rhythm section, and a vocal performance that sounds like it's bursting at the seams. The structure is clever. The verses feel tense, almost claustrophobic, describing the grind of the work week. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, each day dragging. Then the chorus hits. Friday on my mind. And suddenly everything opens up. The melody lifts. The energy explodes. It feels like release.
Wednesday just don't go.
That dynamic contrast on pressure versus freedom still feels incredibly modern. Lyrically, it's simple. Work is suffocating. Friday means escape, but emotionally, it's universal. That anticipation, that countdown, that feeling when responsibility gives way to possibility. Musically, it bridges pop and hard rock. There's melody, yes, but there's also grit. The guitars have bite. The rhythm has urgency. You can hear hints of what would later become power pop and even early punk. And yet, despite reaching the top 20 in the US and becoming a global hit, Friday on My Mind often gets overshadowed by bigger British names. But play it today. It doesn't feel quaint, it doesn't feel nostalgic. It feels alive, restless, loud, ready to break free. Number 2, Walk Away Renee, The Left Bank, 1966. In a decade dominated by guitars and garage bands, Walk Away Renee did something unexpected. It brought chamber music to top 40 radio. Released in 1966, this wasn't just another heartbreak song. It sounded elegant. From the first few seconds, the string arrangement sets the mood. A delicate harpsichord line follows. Then that soft, vulnerable vocal enters, restrained, almost trembling. The Left Bank were pioneers of what would later be called baroque pop, blending classical instrumentation with rock structure. And Walk Away Renee might be the purest example of that sound. The arrangement is carefully layered, strings swell, but never overwhelm. The melody aches without melodrama. The pacing feels cinematic. Lyrically, it's painfully direct. There's no anger, no dramatic confrontation, just quiet heartbreak. What makes it still sound amazing today is that sophistication. It doesn't feel trapped in 1966. It feels almost timeless, like something that could exist outside of era entirely. The production is clean. The orchestration feels intentional, not ornamental. And the emotional honesty carries weight decades later. It reached the top 5. It influenced countless bands. Yet today it's often absent from mainstream 60s retrospectives. But listen closely, and it's clear. This wasn't just a pop hit. It was a turning point. Proof that rock music could be delicate, orchestral, deeply emotional, and still completely radio-ready. Number 1, Alone Again or Love, 1967. In 1967, psychedelic music was everywhere. Long jams, swirling effects, studio experimentation pushed to the edge. But Alone Again or did something different. It blended worlds. Released as the opening track of Forever Changes, Love's masterpiece album, the song feels like it shouldn't work on paper.
All the times I've waited patient.
Acoustic folk verses, mariachi-style brass bursts, subtle orchestration, and a vocal performance that sounds almost detached, yet deeply emotional, but somehow, it's seamless. From the first acoustic strum, there's a warmth. Then the horns arrive, bold, dramatic, almost cinematic. It wasn't typical rock, it wasn't pure folk, it wasn't straight psychedelia.
And I will be alone again.
It was something else. Arthur Lee's songwriting is understated but haunting. The lyrics suggest emotional uncertainty, loving someone yet feeling alone. The title itself feels like a quiet contradiction. Alone Again. Or, not a clear statement, a feeling. What makes this song still sound incredible today is how modern it feels.
I heard a funny thing.
The arrangement is layered but never cluttered. The brass section doesn't overpower, it elevates. The melody lingers long after it ends. And that chorus, it lifts without shouting. There's sophistication in its structure, confidence in its restraint. It didn't top the charts in the way some of the others on this list did. It wasn't blasted constantly on AM radio, but over time, it grew. Critics reevaluated it. Musicians cited it as influence. New generations discovered it. Play it now, and it doesn't feel dated. It feels timeless, expansive, emotional, bold in its subtlety. If the 60s were about breaking boundaries, Alone Again proved you didn't have to be loud to do it. Sometimes the most powerful songs are the ones that whisper,